Hey, what's going on? Oh my God. We're live. We're live at 5. I mean, we're live at 1. We're live. We're live. We're alive. I'm alive. You're alive. How good it is to be alive. I was thinking that just the other day, like how many times in my life was it like, whew, made it through that one, right? How many times have it been like hey, everybody, welcome. Thanks for coming in. How many times has it been a near miss in our lives? How many times have we like barely escaped something, went, oh my God, woof, I can't believe I made it through that one. Yeah, I'm grateful to be alive. Hello, my brother. Azweed, great to see you. I'm grateful to be alive, grateful for life. I'm grateful for this breath. Think about that. Like we can survive 30 days without food. We can survive 3 days without water, but try 3 minutes without the breath. I mean, that's like my good friend Tommy Rosen reminded me of that. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for this opportunity to be with you guys. I'm so grateful. So I want to remind you about Rythmia, that I'm also grateful for Rythmia, that this amazing place where people come to transform every week. Every week, people are leaving something behind. They leave something behind that was no longer serving them. Some mask that they were putting on, some way of being that they thought they needed to do, that we think we need to do in order to protect ourselves, in order to feel like we're enough, in order to feel like we belong, in order to feel like we're loved. And here's the thing, and this is the topic for today, is we do all this work. We do this healing. You come to Rythmia, you go to a retreat, you do work with your therapist, you do work with your spiritual practitioner, with your spiritual psychologist. Like I'm a spiritual psychologist. I work with people all the time. And we come to a big insight, and very rarely is it that you have that insight and hey, what's up, Anik? Great to see you. Very rarely is it that we have that insight and then life has changed forever. You got to do something. You got to do some work in order to keep that insight, in order to integrate it. Integration is one of the most important things that we can do, and I think that's what's missing in a lot of plant medicine work that people are doing. Rythmia provides an amazing post Rythmia integration program because we're a clinical medically licensed facility. But a lot of places, if you're doing ayahuasca or you're doing plant medicine with your neighborhood dude, a lot of times there's not a lot of follow-up afterwards. And the insights that you receive in ceremony have to be integrated. And this is one of the things that really came up for me recently, and this was the topic for today, is, I saw the core wounding of I don't belong. I saw the core wounding of what makes me feel like I'm an outsider, right? Because it's not true. Those stories that we tell ourselves, trauma isn't what happened. Trauma is the story that we tell ourselves about what happened, right? So the story I told myself was that I don't belong, that I'm somehow an outsider, that I'm somehow an imposter, that I don't fit in. I'm not like them. I'm not part of the cool kids. That's the story. That's not true. That's not true. I mean, maybe I'm not part of the cool kids. No, I'm joking. I'm the cool kid. You know what I love? Zora Neale Hurston said. Zora Neale Hurston was a Harlem Renaissance author, and she was quite a woman in the early 1900s. And she said, wherever I go, I belong because I'm there. That's a ballsy statement in 1910, 1920, right? So one of my big core woundings was I don't belong. I'm outside. And what I noticed was and is that there's a huge piece. Irene Smith Baker, hello from Tucson. What's up? Oh my God. Love you so much. What I noticed is that it sounds cheesy, but it's that little boy or little girl within us. No matter how old you are, there's still that little boy or little girl within you that just wants to feel like they belong. You didn't get picked for kickball. You couldn't play Monopoly with your brothers and sisters. You were abandoned. It doesn't matter whether it's something small or something big, because the end result is the same. I don't belong. I don't fit in. I'm not like them. I'm not smart like them. There's something wrong with me. I've got a flaw. And then we put on this mask of who we think we need to be to protect anyone from seeing that flaw. That is a neural pathway that's developed very early in childhood. And it's as strong as the neural, when you touch a stove, when you're a kid, you touch a stove, you never have to touch a stove again. You learn that lesson because a neural pathway is developed, bam, that says, that's bad. We don't do that. Same thing that happened. You think like, I'm not that 5-year-old who didn't get picked for kickball anymore. Guess what? That neural pathway at that formative time of life is like a well-trodden animal trail in the jungle. That is the path most taken. And that path most taken, that's the default mode of our brain. That's what we do. And we're operating according to that on a limbic brain level, on a deep, deep psychic level. We're operating according to that fundamental belief. And so we wonder why as adults we're people pleasers. We wonder why as adults we don't have boundaries. We wonder why as adults we have trouble with codependency or have the same issues in relationships. Guess what? It goes back to that core wounding. And so with plant medicine, with breath work, with Kundalini yoga and somatic work, retreats, deep meditation, all of our introspective work, we start to see those core woundings. So I saw it. Great. Now what? Micheline, hello. Thank you. So now what do we do? What do we do with it? This is the inner work that we have to do. This is what's called integration. And this is what I think is missing from a lot of the plant medicine work that's out there. A lot of people are doing great work in ceremony, and then they keep going back to ceremony. Like, how many ceremonies do you have to do? Well, the ceremonies that you've done are still working. I had a vision one time in ceremony of, it was like a semicircle. They were all behind me. It was a semicircle behind me of waterfalls. All these waterfalls behind me. And that waterfalls were all flowing behind me into one river, and the river was flowing over me. And I asked, what is that? And the response was, those are all the intentions that you've set in ceremony. And they're still working. The medicine is still in you. It's still working. It's still listening. The work that you did with your therapist, the insight that you got in meditation, that thing that you saw in breath work, it's still working, but it requires that we do a little bit of work. So what does that work look like? Well, it's continued movement. Somatic integration is super important. Shaking, walking, exercising, nature connect, yoga, going to the gym, riding your bike, dancing, ecstatic dancing. All of these are super important to integrate these experiences because there's a psychosomatic connection. We know that. We know that what we think about releases chemicals from our pituitary gland, and those chemicals are either toxic or tonic and lodge in our cells, in our tissues. And so movement helps to move that energy. Kundalini yoga moves the prana energy. Breath work moves the prana energy in the body and begins to break up those congealed patterns that are physically within us. That's why a lot of times mental dis-ease, mental disorder outpictures as disease in the body. And we know that's not a crazy thought. That's a very well accepted thought now, that our thoughts can outpicture as illness in the body. So the first part of integration is movement and consistency over intensity on the movement. The second part of this is the mental work that we do when we catch ourselves doing that behavior again. Okay, well, I thought I healed my codependency. I thought I healed my people pleasing. I thought I healed my perfectionism. I thought I healed my no boundaries. I thought I healed all that with my practitioner, with my therapist, in breath work, in meditation, at plant medicine. I thought I healed that. Hey, Jason, good to see you, brother. Alicia, great to see you. Kata, everybody over here in YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. Hello, welcome. So the first part of the integration, post insight. So I caught a glimpse of something. How do I integrate that? First part is through movement. Somatic integration. The second part is the actual work that we do when we catch ourselves doing that thing again. Oh man, I thought I healed that already. What do we do? Hey brother, great to see you, Jason. what do? We have to like mother that little boy or little girl within us. It's as simple as that. I know it sounds so cheesy, but it's the truth. It's the truth, because those activities, that codependency, that people pleasing, that no boundaries, that going along to get along, that giving to get, those are all ways that are fulfilling a need. And that need is that I belong, that I feel safe. Vinny, what's up, brother? Good to see you. The need is that I feel safe. The need is that I belong. And so it's like that little boy or that little girl in you is just like, yeah, I want to belong. I want to be a part of that. I need to be loved. I need to be seen. I need to be recognized. So guess what? We've been searching outside ourselves for that. We've been acting out in compulsive behaviors, in acting out against others, not having boundaries, codependent relationships, going along to get along, giving to get, being a people pleaser, having perfectionistic tendencies. All of those things are the things that we're doing in order to reach outside of ourselves, to be acknowledged, to feel like we're enough, to feel like we're loved, to feel like we belong. Thanks, Trevor. Trevor goes, this is all so good, brother. Thank you. So it's as simple as saying, like, when that stuff comes up, it's as simple as like holding yourself and saying, I got you. I got you. It's like you're holding your little child. It's like those of you that are parents out there, sometimes your child's just like, no, I want that. And you got to like hold them and be like, no, right here. You got to stay right here until that fit of like thinking they need that thing so bad goes away. And then, right? You got to do that to yourself. Believe me. It's as simple and saying, I got you. I got you. You belong to me. We don't need, I got you. You're mine. Yes, I know what they said. I know it's so hard. That was so wrong of them to say that. Oh man, I know it seems embarrassing, but what they think of you is none of your business. What they think of you is none of your business. I got you. We got this. We don't need to go outside of ourselves anymore. We don't need to look outside. We're taking care of us. We belong. You belong to me. You belong to me, babe. I got you. You do that work. This is the repetitive healing of those core woundings. So the first thing we have to do to integrate is moving our bodies consistently. And the second thing is catch it. Every time it comes up, you're just bringing your awareness, putting your awareness on it, because there's not one part of you and not one part of me that does not deserve to be loved and appreciated. But those parts of us that are embarrassed, those parts of us that don't like the way that situation, it's a current situation that's referring back to a core wounding that's having us act out. I can't believe that they did that to me. How dare they? The business partner, my intimate partner, a friend. How could they? Right? It's not about the rightness or wrongness of what they did. It's about me and you going, what do I really need here? I want them to acknowledge me. I want them to notice that I'm right. I want them to give me some credit for all the things that I've done for them. Oh, I got to give that to myself, because that's just a little boy going, you didn't do that. You didn't treat me the way you should. That's not right. I'm not going to let you cross that line, right? That's just a little boy in us, like a 5-year-old that's just throwing a tantrum. And we just got to wake up. We just got to wake up. One of my favorite teachers at Agape, Reverend Kathleen McNamara, said, I'm not looking to never fall asleep again. I just want to wake up faster than when I do. I just want to wake up faster. So the process of integration of those insights that you receive in meditation, in prayer, in yoga, in breath work, in plant medicine ceremonies, in your introspection, in your journaling, in your visioning, all the insights that you receive are referring to a core wounding that goes back to you being somewhere between the ages of 0 and 10, and something happened and you're looking for that to be filled, and we've been looking for it on the outside all this time. And now we get to give it to ourselves and just hold ourselves until we're, I want to call them. I got to call them and tell them, no, babe. Sit here. You got to hold yourself until that feeling, that urge to call them and tell them what's up, that urge to state your opinion, that urge to let them know what they did wrong, that urge to reach out and apologize because you didn't want to be perceived incorrectly, whatever it is, you got to keep your ass sitting in the chair until that urge goes away and you've taken the time to give yourself that. And when you do, when you give yourself that relief from being embarrassed, when you give yourself that love that you need, when you give yourself that acceptance of yourself just as you are, that I'm enough right now, this moment is enough and I am enough in it, you give yourself that urge will go away. And then you may not even have to call them. You may not even have to defend yourself or reposition yourself. You might not have to clean anything up at all. But if you do, it's okay. But now you're coming from a different place. You're not coming from, I got something to tell you because you pissed me off, or, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that. You're coming from, hey, I'm going to be vulnerable here, but this thing happened and it kind of left a little funny thing for me, and I just want to clear it up with you. I want to make sure that we're okay because you're important to me. That's a different energy than I got to clean this up. I fucked up, or I'm going to tell you how you fucked up, right? Different energy altogether. So, okay. I mean, that's it. That was my thought on you belong, right? Because you belong to you. I belong to me. I got me. And once we can start fulfilling those needs for ourselves, watch as the rest of the world, conditions and circumstances, relationships, work relationships, people not showing up for you the way that they should be showing up for you, you not being supported in the way that you deserve to be supported, you being misunderstood. Watch as all that stuff starts to clear up when we start giving it to ourselves, because it's a fundamental story that we have about being a victim. And that fundamental story is being reflected back to us over and over and over again until we get to do it ourselves. Once it's, what did somebody said? It's a God-sized hole. That's a hole that only God can fill. And guess who God is? You and me. God in the flesh, an incarnation of the Most High. Not talking like co-creation. No co-creation. I ain't co-creating nothing. I'm one with the source. I'm not alongside it. I'm one with it. Once we realize that one with it, then it's God. And it's a God-sized hole that I get to fill and you get to fill for ourselves, because we're God in the flesh. Ram Dass says we're God in drag. Now, what would that go like with all the anti-LGBTQ shit going on right now? And people going up against drag story hour. That's God in drag, bitch. Okay. Now I'm getting crazy. So, all right. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in. Danielle says, Morado says, please send me positive vibes. And I'm telling you, Danielle, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. There's a way through everything. There's a way through everything. Nothing is impossible, but you got to believe that it's possible. You got to believe with all your heart and all your soul that it's possible that you'll get through this, that it's possible that everything's going to work out, that it's possible that you're going to be okay. Because I know it's possible for you. I know it's going to be okay. So, Danielle, if you need anything, you can direct message me on Facebook or Instagram at John Jacob Mubarak, and I'll pray with you, whatever you're going through. All right. Peace and richest blessings to everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a beautiful day. Love, love, love.